So I was walking out of the bathroom, and I see her doorknob like jiggling, like, and I was like, why the hell is she up like this late, like jiggling the doorknob? So I opened up her door, and she was like face down in her bed, like passed out asleep.
What? Shut
Yeah,
up!
and
Shut up!
I swear.
Welcome to the 18th episode of the Cast That Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show where I interview mathcore bands and public figures. If you beautiful people in chat have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the chat and I'll read them aloud. I'm also now a Twitch affiliate. You should be able to subscribe, I think, right here, maybe? There should be a little button, something like that. Subscribe if you're interested in supporting me. We're going to be getting some exclusive emotes, maybe do some other cool stuff. So yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, listening to this in your car, have no idea what I'm talking about, the show is first shown live at twitch.tv/thecast.inscreation. Join us live every Sunday and Wednesday for the live cast. With all that out of the way, let me introduce our guest tonight, who dropped their fourth album, Indwell, about roughly 1,000 other things that he does, back in April. Welcome in Cameron Mcbride of Methwitch. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Yeah.
So you have a bunch of musical endeavors. I know of, here we go with the list, Methwitch, God the Bounty Hunter, Bleach Wave, Bride, 12 Titans, and Voidgasm. Am I missing anything?
I think that's all of them.
How do you have the time for all this stuff, man?
It's hard, especially like before I moved to, I was working 2 jobs, like trying to save up for the move and everything. So that's kind of why I put like some of the stuff on hold for a little bit, but I just like every free second I have, I try and like work on music a little bit. So
where'd you move out to? Somewhere it was California, right?
Yeah. I'm about like 20 minutes or so outside of LA right now. So
nice. And you're just moving out there trying to give the whole music thing a go?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a career going in songwriting and ghostwriting and that kind of thing. So figured LA is the best place for that.
Well, that's sick. So how'd you get started in making music?
I don't know. When I was younger, my brother listened to like a lot of punk rock and stuff like that, and he kind of showed me that stuff. And then I ended up wanting to learn guitar, and then got my first guitar when I was 13. And ever since then, just started like learning more instruments and kind of branching out different styles and stuff like that.
When did you start making music, like in a band setting?
In a band setting,
or like your solo stuff kind of thing, or whatever, like Methwitch type of stuff?
Methwitch was probably like late 2014 is when I started it, but I started doing solo stuff like as far back as maybe like 2007 in high school. It was just like some really shitty like metalcore, but it was like cult status with the recording with like a headset mic and shit. So it was like like some cult metalcore.
What was the name for that?
Till Death Do Us Part.
Okay. Do you have stuff like on the internet that we can find?
I don't think there's anything anymore. There's just like a couple songs I released back on like MySpace, but I am trying to do a thing this upcoming year where I go back and like re-record all those songs and like finally release them, because I never released like the EP or anything like that. So
you'll have yet another project to add on to your pile.
Yeah, like number 200 or whatever.
Well, that's fucking sick, man. So what drove you to go the solo route?
I just like being able to kind of like go at my own pace. I could go like as fast or as slow as I want to with the writing process. And it's also nice to have like full creative control of your music. And like I do enjoy working in a band setting as well, but with the solo thing, you could just make it like 100% exactly how you want it. And I really like that.
Yeah, you don't have to like rely on people to like make it to practice on time. Or,
exactly. Yeah,
not getting strung out on drugs or something.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's how it was a lot of time in bands too, is I'd kind of end up like having to be the ringleader or whatever, and I'd have to kind of like keep people motivated and that sort of thing. But yeah, like when you're doing the solo thing, you can just kind of do it at your own pace. Like you want to knock out like a whole album in a month or something, you can. Or if you want to take like 3 years on an album, you can.
I was gonna say, man, a month for an album's a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, that's short. But
how long did it take for you to make this last one? Make Indwell?
Roughly like 2 years.
Jesus, man, that's a long time, man.
Yeah, that one took a minute. Just because I was kind of like playing with sounds I wanted to do too, because I wanted to change up the sound from like my previous albums too. So there's like a lot of stuff I recorded that like didn't make the album too.
So when it came out, you were already like tired of these songs because you've been hearing them for so long, right?
Kinda. Not so much though. Like if I had put everything I wrote on the like from the demos and stuff on the album, it'd probably be like an hour and a half long or something.
Jeez.
So yeah, like there's a lot of ideas I like tried and like wasn't super stoked on, and then like it didn't really fit like the concept and stuff like that. So I kind of just like put that aside. Like maybe it'll be on the next one. I don't know. But yeah, usually like with Methwitch, like everything I write, I throw it on the record. But like this is the first time where I actually had like a bunch of stuff like left over that I cut out.
It's the first time that you like took the time to make everything perfect.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
you're trying to say. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of like 7 questions in one, I guess. How did you
All
arrive
right.
at the name for all of your various projects?
How did I come up with the name?
Yeah, for all your various projects.
All right, I'll start with Methwitch because that's probably like the most interesting one. So back in like I think it was like 2014, back when I was working for Aaron's, it's like a company that rents out like appliances and like furniture and that sort of thing. I delivered to this one lady, and we were supposed to like deliver a bed door, and it was like a pretty nice apartment complex too, which is why I was like kind of confused. But like we pulled up, knock on her door, and she opens it, and like this lady legit looks and sounds like a witch. Like legit.
Like warts on her nose and everything?
Like yeah, like legit. So she opens up the door, and like the first thing she says, she was like, "You motherfuckers bring me any pillows?" Like all fucking like creepy. And we're like, "Nah, no pillows, but we got the bed and everything." And then she like told us like go to the room and like set it up or whatever. So we're setting it up, and like halfway through we smell like this really weird smell coming from the living room, like smelled like burning chemicals or something. It was like super weird. And we heard her say some shit. She was like, do you guys smell that in there? Like all fucking like weird. And we're like, no, we're good. And then as we were walking out, we just see like this pipe on her table, like a glass like crack pipe or something.
Jesus.
So I don't know if she was smoking like crack or meth or like what. I was just like,
wow,
it was meth, and she was just like smoking that while we were like setting up her bed. So yeah, I just figured put like 2 and 2 together, Methwitch. So that's how I got that one.
That's crazy, man. Did you like get any contact high off of that? I figure it should probably pretty strong.
I hope not. Like I didn't feel like super weird, but like yeah, that would suck if I did. But yeah, so that's how I got the name Methwitch. And then Bleach Wave, I was another kind of weird story. I was just like mopping at work, and it was like bleach and shit in the mop bucket. And then inside the mop bucket, I guess it had a little thing to like keep the water from like flying out of it, and it said like Wave Breaker or something on there. And like at the time, I was trying to think of names for that project, and I was like, "Oh, there's bleach in there, and wave, and like Bleach Wave." And I was like, "That sounds cool." So,
so
that was
random.
that one. I know, it's like super random. And then God the Bounty Hunter. I just like I think I was at work or something, and like Dog the Bounty Hunter was on. I was like, it'd be funny just like reverse it, and make it like God the Bounty Hunter.
Yes.
So
it's Bounty Bitch.
It's Bounty Bitch. Yeah. So that's how I came up with that one. I'm trying to think what else is left.
I have a list in front of me.
All right, cool.
Bride. I actually figured this one out because it's your Instagram handle, right? How you spelled your last name?
Yes. Yeah, so it's pretty much just like part of my name or whatever. I just changed the E to a 3 to make it look cooler or whatever.
And then your band 12 Titans and then Voidgasm. How'd you? What's the story behind this?
12 Titans is like way back in the day. I think it was 2012 when we were like thinking about starting a band and everything. And there's like a YouTube video of like a deer fighting a dog or something, and they like did like a voiceover on it, and then as the deer was like stomping out the dog, he was like 12, 12, 12. So like we thought that was the funniest shit. So like we just kept like quoting that for like a week, and we were like, we should just put 12 in the band name. And then one of our vocalists, because we had two vocalists, wanted to call the band Titan Fury at first. It was just like a name he came up with. We were like, we should just call it 12 Titans. And we're like, okay, cool. And then it turns out, like, if you look in mythology, there actually was like 12 Titans.
Oh, nice. So you can say that there's
so
like a legitimate, real reason why you're called this.
Yeah, we're like, oh shit, that's like a cool coincidence. So that ended up working out, I guess. And then Voidgasm, we were all in the group chat, like, trying to think of a name for it. And we had like some doomy parts and stuff, so we're like, oh, let's like put Void in the name. And then I was just kind of like joking around, and I was like, I remember the movie, there's like Deathgasm.
Okay,
I
yeah.
I was like, we should just call it Voidgasm, and everyone was like stoked on it. So we're like, all right, I guess it's fucking Voidgasm now. So yeah, I think that's all of them.
So you play a bunch of different kinds of music. What's your influences? Like, I guess overall, and then for your specific, probably let's say Bleach Wave, Methwitch, and God the Bounty Hunter. What are your big influences for those?
Okay, for Methwitch, especially like the last album, I'd say the biggest are like Ion Dissonance, See You Next Tuesday, Slipknot, Nine Inch Nails. And then vocally, it would be like Cradle of Filth, Cattle Decapitation, Slipknot again, and maybe like a little bit of like some Manson shit and like the clean parts a little bit. And then God the Bounty Hunter, it's a lot of like MySpace kind of stuff, like Metro Station and the Medic Droid. And then also like a lot of like newer like SoundCloud rap kind of stuff, like Lil Aaron and Lil Lotus and that kind of thing. So I kind of like mix those together. And then Bleach Wave, the biggest ones for that would probably be like Smashing Pumpkins, Third Eye Blind, Nirvana, Dinosaur Jr., and like Sunny Day Real Estate probably.
That's awesome, man. It's so crazy that you have such a I don't know what to say, eclectic taste, I guess. Like ranging from the scariest shit I've ever heard to like this poppy stuff. It's just crazy, man. I had no idea that you were doing all this stuff. Like, and I'm listening to like God the Bounty Hunter, and I'm like, this is the guy that made Methwitch. Like,
yep.
All right.
Yeah, I get that reaction a
lot. So honestly, I heard your album once or twice when it came out, and then I got really involved with my own stuff, and a bunch of other albums came out, and I kind of forgot about it. Then I started doing the cast, and I interviewed Fawn Limbs and listened to their album over and over again. I'm like, okay, this is like the dirtiest, most disgusting thing of this year. It has to be, right? And then someone was telling me that I should interview you, and I don't like listen to. I listened specifically to the artist I'm interviewing stuff leading up to the interview. So like last Thursday is when I finally put your album on and listened to it with the lyrics and stuff. And holy shit, it's terrifying. Like, oh my God, man, bro. Like whenever I do this, like I get about halfway in usually on albums, and then I'm like, oh, what's on Facebook, or you know what's going on Instagram or whatever, and I just stop kind of paying attention. But yours, I was glued the entire fucking time, man. Like, it's like you created the atmosphere of a horror movie. Like, have you ever seen As Above, So Below?
Yes, yeah.
Bro, it feels just like watching that movie. Like, it's so fucking terrifying. Like, claustrophobic, and it's like demons could be spawning all over the room and shit.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome you mentioned that, though, because that's like kind of the thought process I had going into it, is I wanted to make it like a horror movie in audio form, is like pretty much what I wanted to do.
Bro, succeeded. You totally succeeded.
Hell
I didn't even realize it was an hour long, man. I was just looking at the times. I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be about 30 minutes or something. And then I look later on, I'm like, dude, this is like 50-something minutes. Like, it did not feel like that whatsoever, man.
Hell yeah.
So what's the writing process like for this?
So, I had kind of like a vague idea for the concept like before I started, and then once I started getting more of like the instrumentals and stuff done, I started like fine tuning the concept and stuff like that. But usually it would just be like I usually just like have my guitar out and I'll like program drums like as I'm writing riffs kind of, and a lot of stuff I'll just like track it like as I'm writing it. So like I don't even really practice the songs a whole lot. Like I'll jam the riffs for like maybe like 10 minutes and just track it right away.
Bro, that's how I do it. Exactly how
really?
I do it.
Hell yeah. It's like I don't want to forget this shit, so I just like record it right away.
Yes.
And try to get like some videos or something. Hell yeah. But yeah, I do that, and then so it's like guitars and drums first, and those get knocked out like pretty quick, and then bass, and then after that I go through and do like all the weird like noise and atmosphere shit and stuff like that, and then I do vocals last.
Nice, man. Like, how do you go about injecting all of the like weird sound effects and stuff like that? Because I feel like that's really the feature of the album. Like your past stuff, it was all like guitar driven and stuff, and a little more straightforward. Well, I say straightforward, but it's still fucking weird. But like the glitchiness and all the weird sound effects and stuff, that's what makes this album. So like, how do you figure out what to do in certain spots?
It's kind of just like a lot of like trial and error. I did like a lot of really weird shit this time around too. Like most of the stuff on the other albums, as far as like atmosphere goes and stuff, I just use like Omnisphere, like synth patches and shit like that. And I still use a little bit of that on the newest album, but I did like a lot more weird like experimental shit, like power tools. Like
wait, what?
I would take like a Dremel tool and hook up a contact mic through it and like run it through my pedal board and stuff. And then
what the fuck?
There's another contraption like at the beginning of it's like at the beginning of Indwell, like that weird like I took an empty water bottle and I hooked up a contact mic to that and I was like humming into it and then running that through my pedal board.
Fuck?
Yeah, so like super weird shit, and there's like parts where I'm like dragging knives through like cardboard boxes and stuff, and
dude,
yeah,
that's crazy.
like
so they're not even like samples and shit. This is like you literally recorded everything on the album then, right?
Pretty much. I mean, like there's some areas like where there's samples and stuff. Like I'll take like a choir patch or something and just like fuck it up and like make it all glitchy or something. Or yeah, so there's like a little bit of sampling on the album, but like there's a lot of shit that I just like made from scratch too. And it's kind of like a good mix.
The drums, I'm assuming, are sampled, right?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, there's some live drums on the album too. Like the beginning and the end of Indwell, like that like marching band kind of thing. That's all live drums. It's probably like 10 layers.
Damn.
And, because I wanted it to sound like kind of like a marching band kind of like drum section.
Okay. Huh.
Like
and
like,
I assume you played that, right?
Yeah, and it was just like one like room mic, and I was just like just playing that shit, and then just layered it like a bunch of layers.
Dude, that's
and then
crazy, man.
I did some of that on Burn Victim too. There's some live drums in that as well.
Huh. Interesting. I had no idea that's how you were making your sounds. Did that just like add to it? Now, when I listen back to it, it's gonna be like picturing you like cutting boxes and fucking using power tools and stuff. It's so weird, man.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my god, dude, you like this is what music is, right? Like no fucking rules. Just do your shit. Like it's so good. So good, man. So yeah, like I was saying, your previous albums were more like just kind of straightforward. Well, not straightforward. Kind of more pigeonholed into deathcore, and I don't think this is even really deathcore anymore. Really, how do you classify Methwitch's music?
For me, I classify it more as kind of like the newest album. I'd say is more like mathcore and like grindcore kind of mixed with like some. There's like some old school like deathcore in there. Like that's the thing is I'm not really into like a whole lot of newer deathcore. So,
I saw the video of you. What was it? Baja Blasted, I think is what you call the song.
Oh yeah, Baja Blasted.
Dude, the lyrics are hilarious.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing is like I'm not super huge on like a lot of like newer deathcore. I mean, like it's cool. It's just like not really my thing. But like that's why I feel kind of weird like when Methwitch gets like classified as deathcore, because like my only real deathcore influences are from like the MySpace era kind of like shit. And it's like, I mean, like if you were to like classify like Ion Dissonance and like See You Next Tuesday as deathcore, then like yeah, I guess like Methwitch is deathcore. But like that's not really my thought process. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna make deathcore music or whatever. It's just like kind of just like throw a bunch of weird shit in there, and then it just ends up being like heavy. So it's like cool.
Cricket Slams in the chat says that he would just call it experimental metal.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I agree with that.
So I got a couple of people actually asked me to ask you how you do your pterodactyl screams. But seriously, how the fuck do you do that, man? Like it sounds a lot like the drummer for Hayworth. I don't know if you're familiar with them. But that's like the closest thing. Oh, dude, you should listen to him, man. The dude screams just like you, like at the top of his fucking lungs. How are you doing this? Like, because I want to be able to do this. I want to do that vocal technique so bad, but I cannot figure it out.
I'm like always the worst when it comes to this because like I fucking suck when it comes to like vocal techniques and stuff like that. Like the most I can say is just like scream as loud as possible, I guess. Like a lot of people try and like they've kind of like focused too much on technique and stuff like that, which is cool, especially for like live settings and stuff. Like you don't want to blow your voice out like if you have like a 30-minute set or something. But yeah, I just like all the vocals I do, like screaming wise, are just like as loud as fucking possible. So like by the time I'm done tracking a song or something, I'm like dead, like dripping with sweat and shit, like dead.
Does
But
does that high scream like fuck up your vocals?
honestly, I think like lows and like gutturals and stuff fuck up my voice more than like the high shit, surprisingly.
Oh,
But
interesting. I'm the other way around. Whenever I'm recording vocals, I do the low parts first and the high ones last because the high ones just like completely fuck it all up for me. I
yeah.
figured that that really high pitched scream you do would just like make your throat bloody as fuck.
Right, right. Yeah, it kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day too, because like the other thing too is I almost never scream unless I'm like tracking Methwitch. Like I don't really practice screams a whole lot or anything like that. So like a lot of times, like when I'm recording Methwitch, I'm kind of just like diving into that shit.
I saw a Facebook post where someone was posted a chat of their neighbors, like their neighbors had like complained about you or something like that, and and whenever you were recording for an album, do you get a lot of like complaints from your neighbors?
No, actually, I'm not sure where that came from, but yeah, like the house I recorded my last album in, actually last two albums, it's like an actual house, like not an apartment or anything, and like never got any complaints. It's like a pretty chill neighborhood, so
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
I saw a weird thing on. Okay, well, I saw a thing on Facebook. I thought that's what that was about.
Oh
Anyway,
shit.
um, where were we at? Okay, so what's your beef with God? Like, even on your Poppy record, do you have like lyrics disparaging religion on freaking what? I lost the name already. How did I lose the name? Bleach Wave. In Bleach Wave, you have lyrics like disparaging God and stuff. Aren't you afraid you're gonna like alienate people with like your pop project?
My thing is like I just had like a lot of negative experiences with that kind of stuff, so I'm just like I just let my lyrics be as personal as possible, and like I feel like a lot of people will connect to it, and then some people may not, and if not, that's cool. Like there's other bands and stuff for them to listen to, but I just try and be like as personal with my experience as possible.
So did something fucked up happen with you with like religion and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. So I grew up in a Christian household, and my dad was a pastor and everything. So it's like I pretty much like got brainwashed with that like my whole life growing up and stuff like that, and it was super weird for me. And then as I got older, it's kind of like the reason I started Methwitch too. Is like I kind of like started thinking more for myself instead of like what my parents were feeding me the whole time. And then I was like slowly starting to realize like I didn't really believe in that stuff anymore, and I kind of felt like I was being lied to my whole life. And then kind of recently, about a year and a half ago, I actually told my parents that like I don't believe in God anymore and stuff like that, and they pretty much like banished me.
Jesus.
Yeah, like they legit were like, "You're not welcome in our house anymore. Like, get out of here."
What religion were they? Are they?
Baptist, so Christian.
Okay, like hardcore then I would assume.
Like hardcore, yeah. And then my dad's a pastor too, and like low key kind of culty too. Like he was running a church out of his house.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and like I don't know. It was
So you were
bad
really
'cause-
exposed to it then, like if your
yeah,
freaking
and it
house
bad
was your
too.
church.
Because I mean I didn't live there anymore. Like I had moved out a while ago, but like the thing that sucked is it's probably like around 2013 or 2014 when I started like distancing myself from the religion like mentally. Like I realized I didn't believe in that stuff anymore, and then I didn't want like my parents to know because I knew they were gonna like banish me or whatever. So I was just like still going to my dad's church and stuff like that and just playing along with it the whole time. And then it was just like fucking me up mentally so much like I couldn't do it anymore. So I just like had to tell them, and then they banished me.
Damn, dude, that's
Yeah.
fucking brutal. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
So what do your parents think of your music? Well, I guess you don't even talk to them anymore, right? You're like banished or whatever. You probably don't have any contact.
Yeah, but I guess because my mom had actually known about Methwitch for a while. Like I don't know how she found out about it, but she was just always like, "Oh, you're just making like scary music or whatever." And like that's my whole thought process too. Like, is I'm just like it's all fiction. Like, not like worshiping anything or anything like that. But
I actually had someone ask me to ask you if you had any occult interactions.
no, I've had like paranormal experiences, but like I've never like dabbled in the occult or anything really like that. But
Okay.
but yeah, so yeah, my mom knew about it for a while, and then I guess like after, oh, that's a good part of the story I left out too. So I'll kind of rewind a little bit. After all that shit happened with my parents, I kind of like texted them one day, and I was like, "Hey, is it cool if we like talk?" Because I feel like I didn't really get to explain myself very well like last time we met and stuff like that. And they were like, "Yeah, you could come over and like we'll talk about it and that kind of thing." So I get there, and they pretty much tell me that like since I listened to metal music growing up, and since I did martial arts growing up, that I opened myself up to demonic possession, and that they believe that I was actually possessed by multiple demons.
Because of martial arts? What the fuck?
Because of martial arts and metal music. So I was just like, what the fuck? So that was interesting. Yeah, and so like that's how I knew. Like they were like, yeah, we had to exorcise the house the other day when you left because we were praying for you and Bibles were flying off the bookshelf and stuff like that. I'm like, what the fuck? So there's like a whole lot of weird shit going on there. But
Bruce Lee took their kid from him.
True. So yeah, that was interesting. But then towards the end of that conversation, my dad was like, yeah, your mom showed me Methwitch, and he's like, some of the lyrics for that project, some of these song titles, priest of piss, altar of blasphemy, and he was just like so pissed. And yeah, like I pretty much just left it with him that day. I'm like, I love you guys and everything, but like you can accept me for who I am and like what I believe, or that's it. Like it's all on you guys at this point. And they're like, well, we're not gonna be able to welcome you back unless you repent, like that kind of shit. So it was just like, all right, well, later.
Dude, that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
How does karate like possess you? I don't understand that. Like I can see how they could think metal could somehow do that, but like karate, that's such a weird one.
Yeah. He was like, we made the mistake of putting you in martial arts growing up and stuff like that. I'm like, this is some weird shit.
Holly says that Indwell for her reminded her of a lot of bipolar, schizophrenic, psychosis, and childhood stuff. So,
nice. All right.
Like a strong connection there. I don't know if have you seen Holly's cosplay? You had to have.
Yeah, it was so sick. I was stoked on it.
Dude, fuck yeah, man. That looked amazing.
Hell yeah.
So Indwell's a concept album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. What's the storyline?
So it's basically about someone trying to summon Clonic, which is like the demon of like wealth and riches and stuff like that. And they kind of go into it with like a bad mindset, and they're kind of like inexperienced and that sort of thing. So while they're trying to summon him, they open up like a portal to the spirit realm, and all these spirits just like flood in and pretty much like possess the person. And the whole time they're just like trying to kill themselves and shit to like get away from it, but like they just keep bringing it back to life. And then finally at the end of the album, they just give up.
So yes. The image on the front that's a demon, right? Clonic, is that what you said his name was?
So that's just like one of the demons that like came through the portal or whatever. Like it was kind of like described in a couple of the songs, like the teeth like nails, like that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just like my representation of like an evil spirit or something.
Okay.
So yeah.
So he never actually got to summon the one he was trying to summon.
No, it was just like a bunch of other like bad spirits that just came through and just fucked his life up.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick, man. So yeah, like I was saying though, I was looking around the room for like the demons that are gonna be spawning while listening to your album, and then Spiral came on, and the singing kicks in, and I'm like, what the hell's happening? I'm sure you've been asked a million times, what's going on with the singing? Why did you put that in here?
I don't know. I just kind of like wanted to do whatever I just make music that I would listen to, you know, and like a lot of the albums like super like Slipknot inspired and stuff. So I was like, fuck it, like I'll throw some singing in there. If people don't like it, like, oh well, it's like I like it. So
okay, yeah, I'm about that. It feels a little out of place because like everything else is just like terrifying, and then like this beautiful like passage comes on. It's not like it's bad or whatever. I feel like it's slightly out of place though.
Yeah, like the way I felt like for the album too is not so much Spiral, but like Ashen was kind of like a halfway point. It's kind of like more of like a reflection track, and then the last track is kind of like the person like giving up and stuff like that. So I felt like it fit. Like I said, I was trying to make it kind of like a movie
Yeah.
almost. And I also kind of felt like putting the singing in Spiral like kind of like transitioned into the Ashen a little bit, so it's not like you're just getting like a super soft song out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like by doing that, it helped kind of like ease into it, and then that's why I threw like that kind of like industrial track after it too. So it kind of like eased into like Burn Victim and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, I would say like the second half of the album is very different from the first one. It's more like
Mm-hmm.
structured's not the right word, but I don't know, maybe organized. Like I don't know, the beginning half is like super chaotic and like
Mm-hmm.
just terrifying, and then the other half is
Yeah.
it's not as scary. I was
Mm-hmm.
figuring it was probably because you had a story thing happening.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's really cool, man. Shit. Um, hold on, where was I? I got lost in my notes. What was the recording process like? I guess you kind of said that with your writing. You just like
Yeah,
started
yeah.
recording guitars and stuff like that. Then,
Mm-hmm.
is there a plugin that saves your life?
Ooh, let me think about that. Um, I use the Joey Sturgis gain reduction for vocals, like just for
Gain reduction? I figured you'd be adding gain.
yeah, it's called gain reduction, but it's like a compressor, which actually like amplifies it, which is super weird. Like I didn't get the name either, but like it's like a super good compressor for vocals. So yeah, I use that on pretty much everything. But other than that, I can't really think of anything else like I couldn't do without, I guess.
Well, like when you were recording, like in the past or whatever, I'm sure that you like hit a certain spot where you're like, oh, now I know what the hell I'm doing. What was like the thing that clicked? Because there's a lot of people that have issues with like recording and stuff. Like, yeah.
I'm trying to think about that one. And yeah, it's kind of weird because I have like a really unorthodox way of like recording shit too, I guess. Because like I never got like super into like looking up like YouTube tutorials and shit. I kind of just like messed around with it until it sounded cool, I guess. So
Okay.
yeah,
You know,
it's kind
I
of weird.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so whenever I messaged you about like coming on, I kind of thought we were maybe on the same level, like in terms of like how big our projects were. And then I started digging into what you were doing, and I realized that you are so much like bigger than I am. Like
Oh
looking at
shit.
your Spotify streams and stuff. Yesterday you had 1.3 thousand streams on Spotify, man, and peaking on Monday
Dang.
peaked at almost 2,000. Like you're not even really promoting the project anymore. You didn't have a label behind this, and it's certainly not trendy, right? So like,
Mhm.
how do you generate this rabid following and sustain it in between releases?
I don't even know, man. Like honestly, like I told you earlier, like I'm just as shocked as you. Like I wasn't expecting. Like even when I started Methwitch, like I thought maybe like 5 or 6 people would be into it. Like so, I'm kind of just doing my thing, and then I guess it's starting to catch on with people, and then like a couple like bigger, like more popular like YouTube channels and shit found it and like put it on their channel and stuff like that. So it's kind of just like not really any working of mine, like as far as like promotion goes and stuff. I guess just people like catching on and that sort of thing, which I never thought would happen. So
So was there any one piece of coverage that was just like the thing that blew you up, or was it just like the combination of everything?
it's probably a combination. Like even when I had first released this album, like for some reason it was just doing way better than like anything else I had put out. And I think it was just because like it was just so crazy or whatever. People were just like sharing it. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But another thing like kind of more recently too, I guess Jared Dines ended up putting it in like a breakdown compilation or something.
Oh shit,
And
that had to have been big for
that
you.
definitely added like a pretty big spike too. Like when that happened, like I was not expecting that shit to happen.
That's crazy, man. Holy shit.
So
Do you have any advice for people like me that are trying to make this like a living, like make it or whatever?
I'd say just keep doing your thing. Just make music that you like, and then
Well,
if it
like
pops off,
promotion wise, is there
uh,
like a certain group of people we should be reaching out to, or I don't know, like a certain way that you do things that makes it I don't know, reach more people?
I don't know, man. Like, I've never been super like good at promoting myself. I don't think. Like, definitely towards the beginning, like posting my stuff on Slam Worldwide definitely got me like a pretty good following,
I was gonna
especially
mention
for like
that. Like, was
yeah,
that?
especially for my
Oh,
my
sorry.
previous albums for sure. Like that did, but I couldn't even post my newest album on there recently because they were singing on it.
No, I saw it
So
post, dude. That's freaking
yeah,
like what? That's so stupid. I guess they're
yeah,
slam or whatever, but
yeah,
that's still retarded.
yeah.
But so you would recommend posting to sites like that on YouTube, like Beheading the Traitor and Slam Worldwide stuff like that?
Yeah, if you can find one that has like a good following and you think like they'll like your stuff and that kind of thing, like go for it. Slam Worldwide definitely helped me a lot, like in the beginning. So I think they definitely got me kind of like my core base of fans. And then as I started changing, like some left, some came. So things are like a little bit different now, but they definitely gave me like a pretty big boost in the beginning for sure.
Oh, that's sick, man. I've always been wondering about using those sites. So you make all the art for this, and I believe all your other projects too. Is the cover like an actual picture of like a thing, or is it something you made in like Photoshop or whatever?
Yeah, actually, the mask is in my car actually, because I'm still like unpacking and stuff. But pretty much with Piss, I decided like from there on out, I'm just gonna make like a new mask for every album and then incorporate it in the album artwork somehow. So and Dwell was pretty much just like a mask I made and I was wearing it and I just like took a picture of myself in the bathroom and then just like photoshopped it.
Oh, that's sick, man. How
Yeah.
close? How close was Holly in her cosplay?
It was actually totally different because she probably actually made a better quality one than mine because she went like the because she did like the plaster and that sort of thing. I just made mine out of like cardboard and duct tape. So like it's I have to like be really careful with it or it's gonna like fall apart. Yeah, it was like duct tape, cardboard, and like some nails. And, like
That's
that's
fucking
it.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna like mount that on your wall or something?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it over like my new setup here. I'll put like all three of them because I have like the Shadowkeeper one, the Piss one, and then the Intwell one.
Oh,
So I'll
that's
probably
sick,
put them all
man.
like above my desk or something.
Dude, that's such a cool idea. I in the beginning, whenever I was starting to do my stuff, I wanted to do like real life photos setups and stuff, but I could never get that shit to work out, man. So like you being able to like do all the art and like and make an actual thing to put in the album cover that's like next level, dude. That's fucking
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Hell yeah.
um, where were we at? So have you played shows under other projects? I'm assuming you have because you're in full bands, right?
Yeah, yeah. I played shows with like 12 Titans and Voidgasm before.
What about your solo stuff?
Solo stuff, no, I haven't.
Do you have like? Are you interested in ever bringing Methwitch to the stage? Can you bring
Prob,
Methwitch to the stage?
yeah. I'm probably never gonna do it. Honestly, it's just like I said earlier. It kind of sucks having to like play the ringleader or whatever, and I'd have to like teach a bunch of people like my shit, and then there's a lot of stuff too. Like I don't think I want to like throw like a bunch of backing tracks. Like I would want to have like live shit there. So there'd be like Slipknot amounts of people on stage and like trying to coordinate all that. It just seems like so stressful. I'm like, no, I'll just make the music.
Dude, you could just get up there with a guitar. Maybe some
Yeah.
sick horror shit going on like a projector in the background or something.
Right. I would. There's no way I'd be able to like play those kind of riffs and like do vocals at the same time though. Like I'm not that coordinated. Because some of those riffs too are like both feet on the pedal board, like doing crazy shit with pedals and stuff, and like there's no way I'd have to like sit in like an office chair and like try and play that shit, and then like try and like do vocals like ridiculous vocals that use like all my energy on top of it. Like I would die.
When is the vinyl happening for Indwell?
I wish it's just so expensive, and especially like for Intel, I'd have to do like a double LP too,
Oh yeah, it is pretty long, huh?
because it's like an hour long, and the same thing with Piss too. Like if I want to do that one, so I don't know. It's just like I'd have to sell like a lot of copies to be able to like make enough to like make it happen, you know.
Bro, I
And
guarantee
like
you a label would definitely pick that up if you were like
I mean, if
asking.
anyone were interested in doing like a distribution or something, I'd probably be down. But yeah, like even with the CDs, like I sold a decent amount, but like I think if I were to do vinyl, like it wouldn't be quite enough to be able to pay for everything. So that's why I'm kind of holding out a little bit. But if I ever have like an opportunity to do it, like I will, because I'd love to have that stuff on vinyl.
I can't believe nobody's contacted you yet. That's fucking crazy, man.
No.
That's wild. So you also write pop music, and I've been asked to ask you when the Bleach Wave album's dropping.
So the original plan for that was supposed to be fall of this year, but it was just like a lot of stuff like prepping for the move and everything. Like mentally, I wasn't like in the right place, and then actually moving and stuff was stressful, like having to pack up and all that stuff. So I kind of pushed it back. Like it'll probably be like early 2021. All the instrumentals are done, and probably about like a third of the vocals are done for it. So it's pretty much just like lyrics and vocals at this point for the rest of it.
Okay, so we're coming pretty close then.
Yeah, so I'm shooting for like maybe like February.
Okay, and you're gonna release that just on your own again?
Yeah.
Okay, that's sick. Where were we at? What was the last album you listened to?
Last album I listened to. They pull up iTunes actually. What was the last thing? Oh yeah, I've been like on a weird Blink 182 kick again this week for some reason. Like I hadn't listened to them in years, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna jam some Blink 182. So like the last couple days, I've just been jamming like a bunch of Blink 182.
Dude, that's so sick, man. Like,
hell yeah.
Just picturing, dude, this shit's so scary, and like year over year is like jamming out the Blink 182 and stuff. Like,
hell yeah,
so wild.
It's like honestly, like I probably jam more like pop and like pop punk and stuff like that than like heavy music these days. And like the heavy music I jam is like all like nostalgic shit from like MySpace that I love.
Right,
but,
dude. I don't really listen to too much new stuff either, except for like interviewing these bands and stuff. The older stuff is better.
Yeah, I guess I'm just getting like old or whatever, so I'm like that weird like jaded dude now or whatever. But
start screaming at kids that are on your lawn.
I know. Get off my lawn.
Well, you could just go out there and scream at the top of your lungs. They'll be like, "All right, man, you got it. I'm out of here." What are your albums of the year? Let's say like top 3.
Albums of the year. Top 3. There's another one I have to pull up iTunes for sure. As far as like recent stuff, Smart Death, he's like a SoundCloud rapper, dropped an album that I've been jamming like pretty much nonstop. So that one's up there for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Also, love the new Code Orange album. Love the new Ghost Main album. That 18 Visions EP was super good also. And I'm trying to think of anything else that came out like earlier this year. Oh, yeah. that dude Oliver Tree. Like I've been jamming that album like nonstop too. It's so good.
Do you dig on any of the bands that Mathcore Index is like supporting?
I was jamming that Fawn Limbs quite a bit. That was pretty bomb. Trying to think of anything else. As far as heavy stuff goes, I think the only other band is like the newest year, The Knife Was Sick. So mostly kind of like hardcore influence stuff, I guess.
Interesting. I would have totally thought you'd be like in the whole like death metal stuff. Like that's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, I still enjoy like a lot of like older death metal and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as like newer stuff goes, like there hasn't been a whole lot that's come out recently yet that I've been like super into, I guess. So yeah, it's mostly like pop and like SoundCloud rap and shit for me now, I guess.
Well, so I got a couple of viewer questions. First one, she generally asks this to everybody, so I'm gonna start making a tradition. How do you dress your hot dogs? This is from Holly. How do you dress your hot dogs?
Oh, okay, for sure. I'm like a super picky eater, so I'll either do it just like plain or like throw some like cheese and bacon on that bitch. Like, as far as like mustard and ketchup and like relish goes and stuff, that's a no go for me.
Holly was also wondering, what did you think of the new Piron album?
I have not jammed it.
I'm in the same camp. I haven't had a chance yet either.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Where were we at? Jonestown Janitor from Instagram was asking, any thoughts on an industrial noise album?
I'm not too sure. Just because the next Methwitch album, I'm probably gonna bring like a lot more of the industrial and like noise aspects in. And like when I do projects, I kind of like to make them like pretty different from each other. So I'm not sure if I do that. I have thought about doing like a new metal album or something like that eventually. So maybe I'll just do like a new metal like industrial thing someday.
Dude, I really think you could pull that off. When I like
Hell
was
yeah.
singing in Methwitch, when I was listening to, I'm like, dude, this is something that could have been on MTV in like the early 2000s,
Hell
like
yeah.
totally like Linkin Park, Slipknot kind of thing. I was just like, dude,
Fuck yeah.
that's fucking dope. Yeah, you could totally do a new metal thing. But I was also thinking like Methwitch is probably going to be the industrial noise project moving forward, right? Like,
Probably. Like, yeah, the plan for the next album is just like I'm gonna bring in more of the industrial noise stuff, and then like the chaotic parts are just gonna be like even more chaotic. So it's just gonna be like just noise, pretty much. I
dude,
guess.
I am here for it, man. I am here
Hell
for it.
yeah.
Young Ceaseless, who's also from Instagram, was asking, will the lyrics from Piss ever be released?
Yeah. So about that, they're actually in the Piss CDs that I'm gonna ship out like in the next couple days. So they're in there. I'll get around to putting them on Bandcamp soon. The thing with that is they were like all on my old computer, which is like slow as hell. And like some of them were on my phone, some of them were on there. So I was like, fuck, I don't want to have to like go to all these different places and pull it together. But I did finally like take it, put it all together, and put it in like one format or whatever. So I'll put it on Bandcamp soon.
So you're on. Oh, sorry. I've Sim Fair, I guess is his name. So he was asking about the occult and stuff, and you were talking about your paranormal experience. Were there any other weird things associated with like your music and stuff that you've like? I'm sorry. Any like kind of paranormal things that you've experienced in your life?
Yeah, there's been quite a few.
Oh shit.
Especially yeah, I mean like especially with the last house I worked at. Like I work with people that have like intellectual and developmental disabilities and stuff. So I was pretty much like working in a like a group home kind of setting before, and like people had died at that house and stuff, and like definitely saw some weird shit there for sure. As far as like correlating it with music goes, there's like one thing I've only told like a few people this, but like some of the weird like screams I do in Method were like kind of influenced by like a sleep paralysis episode I had one time
Oh
where
shit.
like yeah I woke up and there was like it looked like a cloaked like shadow kind of figure like standing in the corner, and then there was just like a weird aura in the room. It was like a teal like lighting aura or whatever, and it was just in the corner just like screeching
Jesus
like, and then
fucking
for
Christ.
like 5 or 6 seconds, and I snapped myself out of it and there was nothing there. So like I kind of took that, and then I was like, oh, if I combine like cow decapitation and like cradle of filth, I could kind of like make that sound a little bit.
Jesus
So
Christ. Well, I think we all
yeah.
know where the meth witch comes from now. Like, Jesus fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of like a little bit of inspiration for like the vocals.
We wake up, you've like soiled yourself and shit. You're like, what the fuck happened? Like, what are your other paranormal experiences?
I'll tell you one of the craziest ones from the last house I worked at. Um, so back when I first started there, it was like the end of 2017, and I would work graveyard shifts there, and I'd be there until like 10:30 in the morning the next day. And usually on Mondays, everyone in the house would like go to their day programs and stuff for the day. So it'd usually just be like me and then management there from like 9 o'clock to like 10:30 in the morning. So it was a Monday, and this time even the management wasn't there. So it was just me and then like the on-site nurse, and we were the only two people in the house. And usually I just spend that last hour and a half like cleaning the house and like mopping and that sort of thing. So I'll try and like describe the setup the best I can, but like let's say I'm in the handicap bathroom right now, the big one at the end of the hall. If you go this way down the hallway, it's like bedrooms on each side, and then two more bedrooms, and then on my right hand side it would be like a side bathroom, and then past that would be the nurse's office. So I was walking down that hallway, And as I was walking past the like that side bathroom, I saw a light on in there, and in the corner of my eye, I like saw someone in the bathroom. And my first thought was just like, oh, it's probably just like the nurse in there, like because she was the only other person in the house at the time. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So then I took like 5 more steps, and then I went by the nurse's office and saw the nurse in the nurse's office. So I
Damn.
was like, wait, what the fuck? So I went back, and there was no one in there, obviously.
But the light was
So,
on.
but the light was on, and like
That's
I could have
creepy.
swore I saw someone in there earlier. So that night, I had a fucked up dream about that house. And in the dream, I woke up and I was in that house, and there was a bedroom where that bathroom was in the dream, which is weird. And like the way the house was, my dream was like all the lights were turned off, but it was daylight outside. So like the only light you could see is like some rays of light like shining through the uh like
Windows.
the blinds and the windows and stuff. So it was super creepy looking. So then I start walking down the hallway, and I walk into that handicap bathroom, and then I try and turn on the light, and the light wouldn't turn on. And then I look up at the mirror, and in the mirror I just see like this silhouette of like a lady. And then
Like
I
of
like
you? Like you're the lady?
it looked like it was like almost like looking back at me or something
Okay, I got you.
from the mirror. It was weird, like it's hard to describe, but it was like there's like a lady in the mirror like looking at me. And then I woke up, and I was laying on my right side, and right after I woke up, I like felt like there was something like standing next to my bed. So then I tried like turning away from it, and it was fucking sleep paralysis. So then like I couldn't turn, I was stuck on my right side, and then it felt like someone took their hand and stuck it in my mouth and like tried reaching down my throat.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then like I was like fucking like trying to roll over, and then like I finally snapped out of it, and there was nothing there. So then the next day, I go back into work, and one of the ladies I take care of was like in a wheelchair, and she had like very limited vocabulary, so she'd pick like one word and just kind of like say that one word all day. So I was wheeling her into that side bathroom because I had to get her on the toilet. And like the second her wheelchair went into that bathroom, she just kept saying, scary, scary, scary. Like the same place where I
What?
saw the person there the day before. I'm like, nope, we're going to the other bathroom. So yeah,
Jesus, dude.
that was pretty trippy.
You think the thing reaching down your throat was the hooded figure from your other experience?
I don't know what it was, but it was a trip for sure.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
You got any other stories like that? We're just over here sitting around a campfire and you're telling us some ghost stories. Man. I'm here
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
I was like, there's so many. I'm like trying to think, especially in that house. Like, um, there was another lady. It was like one of the higher functioning ladies that lived there, and we kind of felt like uh, she had someone that was like in like a spirit or something in her room that would like taunt her at night or some shit. Because she would like there'd be some nights where she'd get up and go to the bathroom, and she would go like every 5 minutes, and like we have to keep telling her, hey, I need to go back to your room. And sometimes like she would just stay, like if we didn't tell her, like she'd just stay in the bathroom and like fall asleep in there. So we're like, there's got to be something like fucking around with her in her room or something. And she was nonverbal, so she couldn't like explain to us like if there was anything happening. We just had to like kind of go off her like body language and stuff.
Jeez.
So there was one night, like it was pretty close to like pretty recently, like a couple months ago, where I was in that bathroom at the end of the hallway again, and her door was like the first one on the right, like after that bathroom. So I was walking out of the bathroom, and I see her doorknob like jiggling, like, and I was like, why the hell is she up like this late, like jiggling the doorknob? So I opened up her door, and she was like face down in her bed, like passed out asleep.
What? Shut
Yeah,
up.
and
Shut up.
I swear. So yeah, there was at that time my coworker was out in the like in the back of the house like smoking or something, and she came in a few minutes later, and I was like, so and so's doorknob was jiggling, and they were just like passed out in there, and she was like, "Oh my god, was that like 10 minutes ago?" I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Oh, because like I was outside her window and like I could have swore I saw someone like in there."
What the fuck?
I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, so that
Jesus
was interesting.
Christ, man.
And then there was another time too. I actually got it on video. I'll see if I can find it. I think I have it on Instagram. Where one of the drawers in the office like kept opening by itself.
You got this on video?
Yeah, I got it on fucking video. See if I can find this real quick.
Proof of ghosts on camera. Get ready, chat.
I know. I know it's on Instagram somewhere. I just have to, it was a couple years ago, so I have to scroll back a little bit. But yeah, it was like, I was like, what the hell?
Dude, I gotta say, you're totally living up to the Methwitch thing now. Like,
hell yeah.
Freaking
dude, I was even thinking like the other day, like I've been going back and watching like Ghost Adventures a lot. I'm like, there needs to be a fucking like Methwitch Ghost Adventures collab at some point.
What's a Ghost? Oh, Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
So like going out to haunted places and stuff.
Yeah, they go out and like investigate and stuff like that.
Are you like into doing that kind of stuff?
I mean, I would. There just like wasn't a whole lot of places other than like places like I lived and like stuff like that, honestly. But I think it'd be fun.
I always kind of thought that those shows were like bullshit, you know?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on the show too, and like maybe even some of the episodes are like more real than not. But especially like the newer seasons of Ghost Adventures, it seems like they do like a pretty good job of like trying to like debunk stuff, like if they do see something.
Okay.
So let me see if I can find this. I should be getting close. Oh, I found it.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know if you can you see that at all?
Put it closer. What?
Yeah, it just like opened by itself, and it was doing that shit all night too. And like I checked it, and it was like a pretty heavy drawer, and like you had to put like a decent amount of force on it to like get it to open.
And it's not like the desk is tilted, like.
No, like I said, I tried like even like giving like a little tug and everything, and like you had to pull on that shit like pretty hard to get it to open.
Dude, that's
so
creepy
like,
as shit.
Yeah, it was trippy. But stuff like that in the house would happen all the time. Like stuff would move by itself and that kind of thing. So it was interesting. I never like, other than the fucking weird sleep paralysis thing, like where someone's reaching down my throat. Like other than that, like I didn't really see anything like malicious in the house. Like no like poltergeist shit or anything. But like weird stuff would definitely happen like pretty often.
Dude, that's wild. I never met someone that's had like that those kinds of experiences before.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of my notes. Did you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Well, that's cool, man. So I'm just gonna move over to the outro then. Be sure to check out. Here we go with the list again. Voidgasm, Bleach Wave, God the Bounty Hunter. I didn't have those other ones on here. 12 Titans and Bride. And that's it, right? I said it all, right?
Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. But especially check out Endwell, the 4th album from Methwitch. Actually, Wheeler Dealer is saying, "Yo, Cameron, your album is one of my faves this year. Congrats."
Hell yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Fuck yeah. So yeah, be sure to check out all those, especially Endwell. You're on Spotify, all the streaming websites, Bandcamp, Instagram, Facebook. I don't think you're on Twitter. At least I couldn't tag you.
No, I'm not on Twitter.
Okay, I don't recommend it, so you don't need to join.
Yeah, I've tried it, wasn't a fan.
Any other plugs I'm forgetting?
I think you got it all.
Okay. So as for me, drop my channel a follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub, should be somewhere over in that direction, up above, if you're interested. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. YouTube folks, if you like the video, please drop a like, subscribe, tickle the notification bell. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation. My Christmas EP, Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal, is out now. Get a free download, maybe buy some merch over at my Bandcamp page, thesoundthatendskreation.bandcamp.com. My next guest is going to be Holly, aka New Chlorine. Haven't interviewed a public figure in a while, so we're going to be doing that. Join us this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, right here. I'm sorry, it's actually 8 p.m. Central, right here at twitch.tv/thecassetenscreation for the live cast. Thanks for being here, Cameron. Hope you had some fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys for watching and listening.